Hollis may have just set the standard for an off-the-rack dry suit. Hey everybody, Torben here from DiveIn, the place where we test dive gear, give you the best dive destinations, and share tips and tricks to make your diving better. Today we're reviewing the Hollis DX-300X Drysuit. We've been testing this suit side by side with off-the-rack models and custom-made options from neoprene to trilaminate to see where it shines and where it doesn't. In this review, we'll cover the build of this suit, the materials, the mobility of it, the seals and the zippers and pockets and all the accessories, and how we felt diving this one when testing it on multiple dives. Towards the end, I'll also tell you where I think the DX-300X falls a bit short. Now, let's dive in. Before we get into the fit mobility of this one, a quick heads up, because we found a way for you to get free leak fixes, free seal replacements, and lifetime patches of your next dry suit. If you want to know how, follow the full video because I'll explain that later in this video. The Hollis DX-300X is one of the easiest suits we've tested in terms of getting into it. So it has telescopic torso, diagonal bias cut panels, and a really soft Cytec silicone seals. So combined with all these, making this almost pleasant actually to get into your new dry suit. There's no wrestling really needed. But getting into it is of course only like half the story. The fit is really what makes or breaks a dry suit, as you know, and this is where the DX-300X really stands out for an off-the-rack model. And then this bias cut padding on the telescopic torso gives a suit a really actually forgiving fit. So it lets you adapt to different body types, and I would say more than a lot of the other off-the-rack options that we tried. So compared to a bespoke suit, we can compare this to the Bear X mission suit or the Fourth Element Argonaut 3.0. The DX300 won't give you that same feeling because they are made completely to your measurements, but it comes surprisingly close, and we found a fit that really fits well for us. So while a custom suit might be a bit more on your measurements, the DX300X really has enough of play in the torso, and it gives you options to switch in between, and also gives you room for extra padding on the inside if you're bulking up during the winter or bulking up because you're taking an undersuit on. So in terms of this, our tester Bradley, he said for the price and comfort of this suit, this is among my top picks. And that balance of the forgiving fit paired with the donning makes it really easy, the fit of this one, and that it's an off-the-rack suit, meaning you can buy it and get it home straight away, and also price comes into that. The fit and materials is really where we give it top grades. Let's talk about the materials and the durability of this one. It's a trilaminate suit, but it's built to work on expeditions. That's the DNA of the Hollis and of this suit, of what it's made for. Also, we're gonna come more into that in terms of the seals and what it can do. It's built with Cordura ripstop materials, meaning that you get a premium material of this suit. Then it's cut into a lot of different patterns, making the fit of the suit, as we talked about previously, really good, but still expedition grade protection of this material. So no matter if you're diving wrecks with sharp objects, rocky dives, or even cave diving, this is built to last. So it has a 12-layer membrane that gives the waterproof barrier, and of course makes it completely dry suit. That's what we know for all dry suits. Because it's trilaminate, it's soft, it's quick drying, and it, as we talked about, really easy to get into. It's also soft on the inside, meaning that if you're not wearing anything, if you're diving warmer temperatures, it's really soft in your skin on the inside. That's an important part as well. Most dry suit companies only wrap their suits in reinforced areas around the crotches, knees, and shoulders for some, but Hollis wrapped the entire suit in this ripstop material, making the suit really abrasion resistant. And even if you get a rip or a tear as it happens, because it ripped up, it won't tear too much. So you can repair it. It's just that one small hole. Make sure you bring a repair kit and you can even be diving the day after. Zippers is run diagonal. It's a YKK plastic zipper, meaning it's easy to use, easy to maintain as well, and it won't break as easily as the brass zippers. What Hollis did, as a lot of the other suits have an extra protective zipper on the outside, but they chose a Velcro flap. If you like that or not, that's really up to you. I can be afraid of the Velcro, of how that will handle over time due to like sand getting into it, but so far we've seen no issue in it, and you can replace a Velcro quite easily if you want that. Material-wise, if we can end it there, it's built to last, it's built as a durable, really pleasant suit to dive and to also pack down, and especially if you're traveling as well, it's fast drying, meaning you can wash it and dry it and pack it the next day before you leave on your plane. Now, a follow up on that is of course the mobility underwater, and this is actually where the DX300X surprised us, because it's an off the rack, meaning there's always somewhere it will fit a bit. But on any dive we did, that we just found that this one really allowed all the movements we wanted, reaching anything, moving around, taking gear on and off. We did not feel restricted in this suit. We found that all the movement was just as we would expect with any high tier dry suit, or even as we experienced with the custom-made suits. It has a telescopic torso and suspenders to keep the materials under control, which means you can extend it for getting in and out of it, but you can also retract it, which means you don't have too much air migrating inside the suit. So the telescopic torso really helps you get in and out of it without too much air moving around when you are diving. The Hollis has this side-tech neck system, which means you have a really fine, soft silicone, but also replaceable on the side. This works so great. Doing testing, Bradley noted, I felt closer to a wetsuit in movement without the squeeze. So reaching for valves, turning your head in the water can feel restricted in other suits, but that's not the case with the Hollis DX300X. Now, it's not exactly like a custom suit, but it's quite close to it actually, and this is the feeling we had. Of course, the Hollis is priced close to the bespoke suits, but it's not priced all the way up there. So out of our lineup of suits, this one made the top of it because it's an off-the-rack suit, meaning you save money on it. And you can get it home straight away because it actually hangs there. It's not a 8 to 12 week wait for it, but you still have a lot of sizing options, and this fit is just superior. Seals and how that works. So seals, the Hollis is using the side-tech replaceable silicone seal. Silicone is really soft and is really easy to use. There is risk of this one tearing a bit easier than if you're using latex or if you're using neoprene. So that's the downside of it, but it's more soft and it's better. It gives you a better seal in this suit. A really big plus, if you do tear it, you can replace it right there, then on the spot. It's easy to replace with the ring system that SciTech is creating. So just remember to bring always on any dive a spare silicone seal. Now let's talk about the accessories. We talked about the zippers already. We talked about the seals. So pockets and boots is what comes next in my mind. So pockets, there's standard 2 pockets with internal D-rings. When closed up, they don't take up too much space. This is the expedition and the cave diving DNA of Hollis. They've figured that in. But when you open them up, they're quite roomy. So you can fit in a spare mask or SMB or slates for that. We found them to be quite standard in terms of all the dry suits that we've been testing. The only difference here is because it's an off-the-rack. So compared to the Argonaut or the X Machine, you cannot choose to get 1 or 2. You can only choose these 2 because it's off the rack. In terms of boots, the Hollis DX300X only comes with neoprene socks, and then you buy rock boots separately. All right, in a second, I'm gonna tell you if I would recommend this suit or who should buy it. But first, let's just talk about what we like and what we don't like about this suit. So first up, what we like: premium cut, perfect fit, perfect mobility underwater. For an off-the-rack suit, this is the best you got. You got the expedition grade material, so it won't rip, it won't tear. If it does, you can replace it. The SciTech system also means you can replace the silicone seal. Really a top grade. You will not be disappointed with this suit, I guarantee you. Now, there's one thing I don't like about it, and that is if you're diving cold water, this silicone seal does not have this neck gaiter, meaning if it's really cold diving, or if you're diving for an extended period of time, your neck is going to get a bit cold. A neoprene gaiter would help, or at least you need a lot of isolation at the top. Of course, a hood down would work as well. But that's the only part where I see this suit is pulling down, because everything else around this suit just makes me scream, get this one. Bradley, after testing this suit, had the exact same thing. On several occasions, he said, well, if I'm going to grab the Hollis if you don't mind, saying that this is the suit he would bring on most dives because he felt it's so comfortable. We dive both cold and warm water. He's Canadian, so I don't think he minds the cold too much. So this is weighing in pros and cons of this one. So who should buy it? Anyone diving anything from mid temperatures to nice and warm, but needs a dry suit for the extended time you're in the water. If you're doing cave diving, if you're doing expedition diving, this is a perfect suit for you. It works really well. If you're doing a lot of cold water diving, I would recommend you look at a wetsuit like the Bear X Mission, because it's a bit more expensive, but it has the perfect fit as well. And it really helps you elevate that, and you can choose the different options of seals at the neck. So you can choose a neoprene with a neoprene neck gainer as well. All right, we talked about how you can get free leak fixes, free seals, and lifetime patches on your next dry suit. We partnered up with Dive Right In Scuba to give you access to their dry suit warranty, or their premium dry suit warranty. Here's what that means. If you rip a wrist or neck seal, you get a free brand new one placed on your suit. If your suit leaks, they will test it, they will patch it up, and you'll get it back dry, as a dry suit should be. And it's free, and it's lifetime as well. So it's covered like anytime, anywhere, and for any reason. So how do you get this? Well, it's simple. You use the linked form in the description. So first link in the description will take you to DiveIn, where you fill out a form when you're buying a new dry suit. So once you've filled this one out, the team at Dive Right In Scuba will reach out to you and help you pick the right dry suit that fits your dive style, your dive needs, your measurements, and of course your budget. These guys aren't just a dive shop. They are the biggest dry suit retailer in the US, with a huge in-stock selection, in-house repairs, and a staff who dives dry suits every day, with hundreds of dry suit dives that will help you pick that right dry suit. So when you're making that premium investment, as a Hollis DX-300 is, they'll help you, and they are the experts of guiding you through that process. So reach out, fill out the form, or reach out to Dive Right In Scuba directly and just say that DiveIn sent you.